Vengeance of the Viskeon by Frazier Farrell. Raksha the Viskeon lay prone on the chitin's spike like a horned lizard basking in the sun. Warm water from the bioship's pulsating vessels comforted the cold-blooded Xenos as it fell on his turquoise skin and ran off his bone spikes. He focused on the steady susurrations of fluids flowing around him. A change in the pitter-patter of water droplets drew his attention. He peeked around the side of his perch. A bipedal tyrannid strode tall through the membranous chamber beneath him. Its jaws curled into a shape that resembled a smile. It looked as prideful as a hunter returning home with a cargo hold of fresh bounties. The thought reminded Raksha of the days when he used to return home before the Great Devourer consumed it. He bared his fangs and wrapped his fingers around the hilt of his chitin sword. Despite being on the drug chlorantone, the reward of a long-awaited kill invigorated him. Fresh blood pumped through his veins. His drug-induced metabolic freeze began to thaw. He no longer needed to have the vital signs of a mounted game trophy. The beast suspected nothing as it walked beneath the spike. Raksha fell from his perch in utter silence, slicing through the tyrannid's neck, its head landing beside him. The body toppled over, revealing the purple three-armed humanoid it had been dragging. The unconscious Genestealer wore drab engineer's coveralls. Raksha shook the creature awake.
Wake up, engineer. I wish to be reunited with my people,
he said in harsh, low Gothic.
You want me to overload my ship's reactor?
The Genestealer, named Aldara, asked. She leaned against the bulkhead of the digested freighter that served as Raksha's bolt hole.
Yes,
Raksha replied as he sharpened his tusks under the red lumen beam.
Listen, I want to die as much as you do, but there are easier ways to do it.
There are, but this is the only way to send the beast's soul into the warp.
Destroying one bioship is as pointless as destroying a billion. My cult was on the run for years, but not even the void is safe. This is a Tyranid subsect now. And why do you trust me anyway? Don't you know what I am?
Of course I do. I certainly killed enough of your kind. You have to know you're not all Tyranid slaves. I watched you and your crew fight to the last. Do you not wish to honor their deaths?
It's pointless.
Not to me. If I destroy this ship, I will have avenged my homeworld. The Devourer ate my planet in a single night. My race has been dying ever since. I want to celebrate their destruction with my fellow warriors in the afterlife.
At least your race has an afterlife. We were nothing but tools to be melted down once we stopped being useful.
And yet, the cult's fox sermons preached nothing but salvation and deliverance. I can't imagine how it must have felt to realize you were lied to all your life. Does it not anger you?
You have no idea,
she said through gritted teeth as her clawed hands cut into the bulkhead.
But the cults are right. The digestion pools offer the salvation of death. Too bad they'll get to reuse my corpse.
There won't be anything to reuse if the reactor goes. So why not try to blow it? If we fail, we die. If we succeed, we die. Either way, we'll find salvation, Genestealer.
Aldara let out a long exhale.
Okay. How will we reach the ship?
That's the easy part. Have you ever heard of Chlorintone?
Raksha asked with a grin. The low hum of the plasma reactor filled the engineerium. It served as the nexus for every rusted gantry in the chamber. Red emergency lumens wreathed its blinking control panel.
Raksha, it won't take them long to come for us once I awaken it,
Aldara said, as she began her work at the controls.
Good. I'll score some honorable kills before you steal all the glory,
Raksha replied with a grin. The reactor's hum became a roar. The overhead lumens burst into life. Raksha walked down to the lowest gantry, overlooking the blast door. The door's metal blackened before melting away with a hiss. A gaunt wielding a bubbling biogun skittered through the opening. Raksha heaved a chitin spear into its eye. It fell dead as a swarm of Hormagaunts leapt through the smoldering portal. Raksha retreated up the maze of ascending walkways. He threw chitin knives as he went, sending the beasts plummeting to the floor below. Gaunts lunged with open maws, but were impaled by his second spear. For every bug he sent flying, another took its place. Red lumens flashed, and klaxons blared as he ascended the steps to the control panel.
We're out of time,
he shouted. It's going critical!
Aldara yelled. Raksha started charging Hormagaunt. Another leapt over its writhing kin. The creature snapped the spear in its jaws. Raksha cut through the beast with his sword, but another lunged at its exposed flank.
Left!
Aldara screamed. Scything talons tore into his chest. Aldara leapt and held the beast's jaws before they closed on his head.
Fuck!
Her third hand tore out its throat. Raksha ripped out the talons. Aldara looked on in amazement as his exposed muscles knitted itself together.
Viskeons heal fast. A gift from our violent ancestors,
he panted. The reactor glowed red, and the room began to shake. Aldara looked at him with relief.
It's done, Raksha! We're extinct!
He smiled, raised his sword, and charged the Hormagaunts, the reactor erupting in blinding white light as Raksha bellowed.